You pull up the World Cup 2026 bracket. You stare at it. You have a degree. You've watched football your entire life. And you genuinely cannot figure out how this thing works. Don't worry, you're not alone. Millions of people are in the same situation right now. Because this year, FIFA didn't just expand the tournament, they rewired the entire logic of how teams advance. And once you understand the system, it actually makes a weird kind of sense. I'm going to break it down in the next few minutes, and by the end, you'll understand it better than most sports journalists covering it. Let's go. Here's where we start. For decades, the World Cup had 32 teams, 8 groups of 4, top 2 from each group go through. Clean, simple, perfect math. 2026 breaks that math on purpose. This year, there are 48 teams, 12 groups of 4, and suddenly the numbers don't divide neatly anymore. 24 automatic qualifiers from group stage, but you need 32 teams in the knockout round. So where do the other 8 come from? Here's where it gets interesting. In the expanded format, the top 2 teams in each of the 12 groups advance automatically. Then, the 8 best third-place teams from across all 12 groups also move into the round of 32. Sports Pulse Media. Read that again. 8 teams that finish third still make the knockout stage. In theory, this sounds chaotic. In practice, it creates the most dramatic final group stage days in football history. Because you're not just watching your team's group anymore, you're watching all 12 simultaneously, trying to figure out if third place is good enough today. You know the feeling when you're tracking multiple scores at once and your brain starts melting? That is now the official World Cup experience. Section 3. The brutal math of third place. Here's where most people get lost. 12 teams finish in third place, but only 8 advance. 4 go home. Football update. So which 8? FIFA ranks all 12 third-place teams using these criteria. Points first, then goal difference, then goals scored, then fair play conduct scores based on yellow and red cards, then FIFA World Ranking. Fox Sports. This sounds simple. It isn't. Because a team in, say, Group F could finish third with 4 points and be watching the tournament from their hotel room, while a team in Group B finishes third with 3 points and advances. Same record, different groups, different fates. Your performance doesn't just compete against your group, it competes against 11 other third-place teams from 11 other groups simultaneously. That's a different sport from the one we used to watch. Okay, so let's say 8 third-place teams are confirmed. Now, where do they go in the bracket? This is the part that genuinely breaks people's brains. Their opponents depend on which 8 groups produce the best third-place teams. FIFA uses a preset mapping table called Annex C to place them. Once the 8 qualifying groups are known, placement follows that mapping exactly. Snap bracket. There are 495 possible combinations of 8 qualifying third-place teams from 12 groups. Each combination has its own defined round of 32 matchup. Snap bracket. 495 possible bracket configurations. Before a ball is kicked in the knockout stage, that's why you can't properly fill out a bracket until every single group is finished. The bracket itself doesn't lock until the last whistle of the group stage, which honestly is kind of brilliant. This is the first ever round of 32 in World Cup history. Toffee Web. Before 2026, the World Cup went straight from the group stage to the round of 16. Now there's an extra round. 32 teams, 16 matches, single elimination. The round of 32 runs across 6 days and 16 fixtures. Betis. Win and you're in the round of 16. Lose and you're on a plane home. No second chances, no replays. This is the knockout stage. It just starts earlier and with more teams than you're used to. For the bigger nations, this is actually more dangerous. You might face a third-place team that sneaked through with 4 points and nothing to lose. Those are the teams that knock giants out of tournaments. Always. Here's an awkward conversation FIFA had to have with itself. When third place matters this much, what stops 2 teams from playing a boring 1-1 draw in their final group match if it benefits both of them? FIFA specifically stated the revised format mitigates the risk of collusion and ensures that all teams play a minimum of 3 matches. ESPN. In theory, yes. In practice, teams have colluded before and they'll collude again. Anyone who watched the 1982 West Germany versus Austria match knows what human beings are capable of when group advancement is on the line. But here's what's different in 2026. Because teams are fighting for third place spots on goal difference and goals scored, one goal could be the difference between advancing and going home. We could see teams pressing for goals even when down 2-0, because every goal conceded hurts their tiebreaker. SOFA score. So even a dead rubber might not actually be dead. Your body knows this. Your nervous system does not need this. Here's a fun wrinkle nobody warns you about. Finishing first in your group does not always guarantee the calmer road through the knockout stage. BetUS. Because of how the bracket is structured, a group winner could end up on the harder side of the draw based purely on geography and which third-place teams made it through. The 3 host nations, Mexico in Group A, Canada in Group B, and the United States in Group D, have their projected routes separated at the start, bets. Which is the kind of convenient scheduling that FIFA insists is just math. It's always just math. So let's bring it back to where we started. You looked at the bracket, it made no sense. Here's the one sentence that unlocks all of it. One rule changes everything. The top 2 teams in each group advance automatically, and the 8 best third-place teams also move into the round of 32. Sports Pulse Media. Everything else flows from that one decision. The 495 bracket combinations, the late-game goal scrambles, the cross-group tiebreakers, the reason you can't lock your bracket until the final whistle of the final group game. It's not chaos, it's a tournament designed to make every single match matter, even the ones that look meaningless on paper. Whether FIFA pulled it off perfectly is a whole different debate. But the logic? Once you see it, you can't unsee it. The real question now is this. In a tournament where a third-place team can genuinely lift the trophy if the bracket falls right, does finishing first in your group even matter anymore? If you want more videos breaking down exactly how this tournament works, formats, tiebreakers, all of it, hit subscribe. New one coming every few days while the World Cup runs. See you in the next one.